because he left me, like my date left me downtown in the dark at 3:30 in the morning. Okay, what's up you guys? It's Autumn. I'm back today with another video. Today I'm gonna be doing a deep condition with me video. Just kind of taking you guys through my deep conditioning, but it's not really gonna be like a in-depth review of whatever deep conditioner I'm using. I'm really just gonna sit here and talk to you guys about stuff. So if you like these types of videos or styling videos or natural hair videos, or if you just like me or whatever, you know, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and that way you won't miss out on any more of my videos. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Grab my hint water. This is the watermelon one. Y'all, these are so good. It's like bougie water, but whatever. It's like, you know how you see the detox water and it's like you add the fruit to it yourself? I don't really like how that tastes overnight. Like, it's kind of like overbearing. It's like literally just a hint of whatever fruit is on there. So this one is watermelon. It's really good. You should try it. They have it at Target. So the deep conditioner that I'm going to be using today is the Cream of Nature Moisture Replenish and Strength Hair Mask with pure honey and rich coconut oil and creamy shea butter. I typically try to stay away from products with shea butter in it, but we're gonna give this a try because I do like the rest of this line, so I think it's gonna turn out good. It has no sulfates or mineral oil, and this is what it looks like. It's pretty creamy, and yeah, a lot more watery than the twisting butter. And it smells good. Cream of Nature kind of smells chemically to me sometimes, like very strong fragrance, but this doesn't have that, and I love it. Yeah, it smells good. It's not like a super strong fragrance, but it's just enough to where you know that there's something there. So I have already sectioned my hair off into 4 sections and twisted each section. I'm gonna go through and re-wet the sections with my spray bottle and then get to talking to you guys about what I got to talk about, okay? This is trifling. Okay, with this twist that's in the back, okay, so a few days ago on my Instagram, I asked you guys if you wanted to hear the story about the time my prom date left me downtown after prom. And an overwhelming majority of you guys said yes. So if you're watching this video, that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I graduated in 2013 and went to prom in 2013. I dated the same boy all throughout high school. And we broke up the February before prom. So prom was in May, we broke up in February, and I was sort of panicking because I knew that I wasn't gonna have a date to prom. We weren't on like friendly, like speaking terms. So I knew we weren't still gonna go to prom together. And I was really heartbroken over the breakup. So I didn't want to go to prom with anybody that was gonna end up liking me because I wasn't in a space to like jump into another relationship. So a boy that was in theater with me wanted to ask me to prom. He ended up asking me to prom, and I was gonna go with him. I'm taking like this much. I'm probably gonna end up using more than that on this section. Oh, it feels good. It feels really good. It's just going in there really smoothly, actually. Surprising. Okay, so anyway, so there was this boy in theater. He was gonna ask me to prom, and we ended up not going to prom together because we couldn't agree on what we were going to wear. He wanted to wear this like mafia style tuxedo, and I just wasn't with that. I was really kind of like dead set on my date wearing a gray tux, my dress, I'll go ahead and insert a picture in here from my prom so you guys can see what my dress looked like. But I was really kind of set on my date wearing a specific type of suit. And even if they didn't end up wearing that suit, I still didn't want it to be like what he was talking about. So we ended up not going to prom together. So here I am, it's March, and I still don't have a prom date. So, and now I'm just gonna retwist that section. So one of my really good friends that I've known since probably kindergarten or first grade had recently been broken up with by his girlfriend because he was cheating on her. So red flag number one, I shouldn't have went with him. But I wasn't trying to date him, so that wasn't really any of my business. Plus I knew both sides of it, so it was kind of like, I'm not trying to get in the middle of it, but we can go to prom together. So he asked me to prom because obviously he wasn't going with her, and I said okay. So we were going to prom together. So fast forward to the end of March, we go reserve his tux and everything's going fine. We have been hanging out like normal. Like I said, this is one of my really close friends. So we have been hanging out, going to the movies. My parents knew him. They've known him since he was little. So even though they were kind of strict, there was never a sense of like, I don't feel safe around this person. I had previously heard of him like drinking and like being high or whatever, but I had never, sorry, I'm getting water everywhere. I had never actually heard or like seen it for myself, and I didn't want to judge him based off of what I heard from other people because of the tenure of our friendship. So y'all might hear my neighbors sometimes, the people that live above me, because they're so loud. I swear they spend so much time stomping around upstairs. It really makes me so mad. Whatever. Okay, so we get to the week of prom, the Monday of prom. So when we were in high school, he had a Challenger, and we'll just call him Logan for like the video's sake, whatever. He had a Dodge Challenger, and we got into a car accident the Monday before prom. We were going back to pick up his tux from the mall, and he rear-ended this little old lady at a stoplight. Now, it was definitely his fault, but she started to go and then stopped, and that's when he hit her. It wasn't like a very hard hit or like anything serious. We still ended up going to prom. Obviously, that's why I'm telling the story. But it was just like another red flag added on to everything else. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't take his car to prom at that point because it was going to have to go to the shop to get fixed. It was drivable, but the front bumper was hanging and he didn't want to drive it like that, and obviously we didn't want to take it to prom like that. So we ended up taking one of his brother's cars, which was still really nice, but it just wasn't what we originally had planned. So the day of prom, I'm looking spectacular or whatever. I'm sure you guys weren't expecting anything less. And I'm gonna insert some pictures in here just so y'all can see. I mean, it's not one of those $1 million proms that these new kids be doing, but I was still looking good, okay? So I think I'm gonna separate this one just so I can make sure I'm getting it to the middle. Okay, so we meet up with the rest of our friends. Me and Logan meet up with the rest of our friends and start to take pictures at what we call the square. And everything was fine. He talked to my dad. My mom had already talked to him, like, I know you guys are going to this party after prom. We were going to a party at my friend's house. And she's like, I just don't want you guys drinking. If you do end up drinking, make sure you guys call somebody to come and get you. It's not going to be a problem. We'll be awake. So we get to prom, and prom was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun together. My boyfriend that I dated all throughout high school and never wanted to dance with me, never. And I'm not like a spectacular dancer, but it's all about the experience and like having fun. And he used to just always come to, like, we would go to his homecoming and have so much fun. He would be life of the party. We go to my homecoming or my events and he would just not be with it, like, at all. My senior year, actually, he made me go to homecoming by myself. If you guys want a story time on this relationship, I would definitely give it to y'all, but yeah, I don't know how I would do that. Anyway, so back to the main story. When it was time to leave, I didn't bring my clothes with me. None of the girls brought their clothes with them. So he had to take me back home so I could change into the outfit that I had bought for after prom for this party. So he took me home, and my mom kind of reiterated, like, if you end up drinking or if you start to feel unsafe, you can call me, because she's always been really big on that. Like, you can call me. Or my aunt was in town because she had done my makeup for prom, and she was like, you know, you can call me. Like, don't feel like you're stuck. So I get dressed and everything, and he comes back to get me, and he hadn't been drinking at this point. He hadn't been drinking at all. He was like stone sober. We're laughing, everything's fine. Thing was fine up until the point we got into this after party. So the after party is at one of my other guy friends' homes, and his parents are not there. There's like alcohol, there's like other stuff. I'm not really gonna get into it, but everybody was having fun, whatever. I had like one drink. I had drank before this point, but I've never really been big on drinking. You guys will hear me say this a lot. I'm not a big drinker. I don't like how alcohol makes me feel. I'm a good time when I'm sober, so whatever. Unless I'm just like in a mood to drink, you probably won't see me drink. Are there, everybody's drinking. I see him pick up a drink, and I don't think anything of it because I have one too. But knowing that he drove, I guess I just trusted the fact that he would be able to limit himself, knowing that he drove himself and me to this party. The rest of my friends were spending the night at one of the girls' houses that lived down the street from where this party was. But I wasn't allowed to spend the night. I don't know why I wasn't allowed to spend the night. My mom never let me spend the night anywhere. Comment down below if your parents never let you spend the night anywhere. I don't know why. But she was like, you need to come home after this party. And I was supposed to be home at 2 o'clock, or at least by 2:30, I believe. So that was a big deal for me because, you know, I'm 17. This is my first real like night out, you know, like where it's like all about me. Well, all about me and my friends. Like, this is our last hurrah, whatever. So they're all like drinking and stuff because they're only going back down the street. I stopped drinking after like my first or second drink. I know that I wasn't tipsy and I was not drunk. And I kind of stopped paying attention to my prom date because he's a grown man and he wasn't my boyfriend. So I didn't feel the need to be all over him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go do you with your friends and I'm gonna go do me with my friends. And when it's time to go, like, we'll meet back up, or, you know, if I come over to talk to you, that's that. But you're not my boyfriend. I'm not obligated to stand around by you. Getting around 2 o'clock, it's time to go. And at this point, I start to notice that he's not around. He's not around. He is like way back in the back. And I hadn't been monitoring what he was drinking because, like I said, I just trusted him to not overdo it. So I finally find him and I'm like, hey, can you take me home? My parents, you know, they said I needed to be back at such and such time. So we walk out to the car, everything's fine. He really didn't say much about it. He was just like, okay, we're saying bye to everybody. And one of my girlfriends is like, is he okay to drive you home? And I'm like, oh yeah, he's fine, because when I talked to him, he wasn't slurring, he wasn't swaying, it was none of that going on. So I'm like, oh yeah, he's good, whatever. And I really wish I would have listened to her at that point, because we could have avoided everything that happened next. Outside to the truck that we came in, and I see him kind of stumble, but the driveway was a little weird, so I just kind of blamed it on that, not thinking like, you know, just being naive or whatever. Gets into the driver's side, and I get into the passenger side. He pulls off. Now for context, I live probably about 10 minutes away from this party, like 10 to 15 minutes away from this party, and he lived a little bit closer. So as we get in the car and we're driving, I see him swerve over to the wrong side of the road. So he's driving the opposite way on the street, and I immediately start panicking. So I'm like, hey, are you okay? Are you over there falling asleep? Like, what's wrong? Do you want me to drive? And he's like, no, I don't need you to drive, I'm fine. So we're listening to music, and I see him do it again. He swerves again, and then I see him drive away from the direction of my house. So my hometown is basically like a square. It's very, very, very small, and it's a square with about 4 main streets that connect the smaller streets to the city. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so he starts to drive away from my house and go downtown to where the square is, where we had taken pictures at earlier that day. And he's like, I'm like, where are you going? He's like, oh, you're coming home with me.
Oh, you're coming home with me.
And by driving in this direction, he was going back towards his house. I'm like, no, I'm not. My mama said I gotta go home, and this is not that. I'm not coming to spend the night with you. And he's like, yeah, you are, and starts putting his hands. I had on pants. I had on teal pants. I will never forget this outfit. I had on teal pants. He started putting his hand on my pants, like trying to feel on my thigh. And I'm like, this is not even like that, okay? Like, you need to watch yourself, because I'm not the one. It's mad or whatever, and starts driving really fast on one of the main streets. Now, any other time, the police are out heavy, and you would think because it's prom, they would be out, but they weren't. So I was out there by myself. I know I'm done putting this on, but I am going to put, I have these like little flyaways in the middle of my hair, and I think they're little pieces of my hair that have broken off in the middle because I part my hair in the middle all the time. So I've just been trying to give them some extra tender loving care, okay? Got my shirt a little bit dirty. I'm gonna put my bonnet on, and then I'm gonna put on this towel, the hooded towel that I always use. So at this point, I'm scared. He's been driving around for like 20 minutes. He's clearly drunk. He has one hand on the steering wheel, and then he's like using his other hand to like grope me. So I'm scared. I'm like screaming at him, and we get up downtown by this BP, the gas station, and it was open, and I told him to let me out. So he pulls over to the side of the road, and he's like, are you sure you want me to let you out? Yes, I'm sure. I want you to let me out. Now, I had a really small like wristlet. I had my phone, like some money and lip gloss, and my house keys. He took my keys. He took my lip gloss and all my money away from me, like on my wallet. We were like fighting over it, and he pushes me out of the car, like full blown out the car, and pulls off. But I still had my phone, so whatever. I mean, it sucked, but at least I had my phone so I could call somebody. So I walk into the BP, and I'm like crying. First of all, because it's 4 o'clock in the morning at this point. Yes, he drove around for a very long time. We left the house party at probably like almost 2:30. And then by the time I got to BP, it was like 3:30. It should have been like an 11 to 15 minute drive turned into an hour. I'm talking to the guy in BP and I'm like, I don't know if you guys are about to close or whatever, but I just need to sit in here until I can call my parents. And he's like, you're fine. Like, are you okay? Did somebody hurt you? Whatever. So I call my mom is asleep. I call my dad is asleep. I call my aunt is asleep. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to go home. I start calling my friends, my guy friend that was throwing the party. I call him and I'm like, hey, can you have somebody come and get me that's still at the house and, you know, whatever, because he left me, like my date left me downtown in the dark at 3:30 in the morning. So he's like going off like, what do you mean he left you? Left you where? Are you okay? Where are you at? Blah, blah, blah. Just irrational, like just going off. So I'm like, I'm okay. Like, he didn't hurt me, but I just need you to come and get me, or I need you to send somebody to come and get me because I'm by myself and I'm scared. I hear like some of my other friends in the background like, well, where is he at? Well, I want to go find him. He left her. I want to go beat him up. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but like, are y'all gonna come get me? Because I'm down here by myself. My guy friends is like, yeah, I'm gonna come and get you and you can just stay at my house in our guest room until the morning because I'm sure your parents are not gonna open the door, which is true. Even though my mom tries to dispute this now, it's very true. He ends up coming to get me. They ends up going to go find him, but nobody ever found him. I don't know where he went to this day after he left me the night at my friend's house. And in the morning, my aunt came to get me and dropped me back off at home. We were going to Cedar Point the next day, which is like a really huge amusement park if you're not aware. And it's like just tradition to go do that after prom. Well, we went there, and while we were gone, he was supposed to go with us, but nobody wanted him to go with us anymore because of what happened. While I was gone, he dropped off my keys and everything that he took from me, except for my lip glosses. Really liked those lip glosses, okay? I really liked those lip glosses. Oh, and my mom is sitting there. You could tell, she was like, you could tell he was like hanging his head. He did not want to come to the door and talk to me, blah, 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 whatever. And when she opened that door, and I know my mama, okay? I know how she was when she was talking to him. She said she opened the door and was like, you know, I'm disappointed in you because anything could have happened to my daughter last night. And y'all have been best friends since y'all were kids. You know, like really close friends since y'all were kids, and you left her because she wouldn't go home with you. So how do you think your friendship with her is gonna be now? And he kind of came up with a lot of excuses, like, I didn't mean to get that drunk, and I told her I would take her home with me. And she blatantly, and I believe this, she blatantly said, what makes you think that she should have went home with you? Why would you feel so entitled to her that she just had to come home with you, or you were gonna leave her downtown? So after that situation, like I said, he dropped all my stuff off to my mom. We never talked again. We never talked. We didn't talk at graduation. We didn't talk ever. We didn't talk when he was going off to college. And that really hurt me because I felt like we were really good friends, and it kind of ended because you left me. You know, anything could have happened to me. Somebody could have took me, somebody could have hurt me, I could have got robbed. I mean, I really didn't have anything to get robbed of except for my phone, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm 17, I'm half dressed because I went to a party and I'm out here by myself. It's my neighbor again, walking around upstairs. Now I see him sometimes, or I used to see him sometimes when I still lived at home. He's about to get married, and his girlfriend got her nails done at the same place I used to go to, and he would never speak to me, never say anything. I was like, you go ahead and be embarrassed. You need to be embarrassed. If you just apologize, we would be in a way better space. I have nothing against him. So that's all I have. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this on for about 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna rinse it out, and who knows, you guys just might see a twist out video. If you liked videos like this, okay, if you like videos like this, make sure you leave a comment down below so I know, and then maybe we can do this again next Sunday. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, Bye.